Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is none other than the Talons of Weng Chiang. Now, before we start off, I think it's only relevant for me to do what a lot of WhoTubers or YouTubers in general who have ever reviewed this episode should point out. The Talons of Weng Chiang has been well known as one of the most controversial Doctor Who episodes for its Chinese stereotypes, but let's put that aside a second and actually look at the story as a whole. The Talons of Weng Chiang shows the Doctor going to Victorian London during the height of the Ripper murders. Now, the Doctor doesn't really seem to, in this story, pay attention to the Ripper murders. Instead, him and Leela find themselves going to the theatre to watch a play, when they both watch a Chinese puppeteer and his magic act. Leela and the Doctor then notice something odd about the performer. It turns out that he's not only a great magician, but somehow he seems to be able to hypnotize people, beyond the point in which there is no going back. However, this isn't the thing that truly catches the Doctor's eye. What catches his eye more than anything is the missing women going missing on the streets of London. It turns out that a lot of people are taken to Mr. Lee, and Mr. Lee seems to make them disappear. We later on in the story learn that this is because the women are being slaughtered so that his master can be brought back to life. Leela then discovers, along with the Doctor, that there are giant rats living in the sewer and something isn't quite right with London. However, when they try to attend to the police, they find themselves in a sticky situation in which the famed magician seems to prove himself innocent. However, after failing to bring the Doctor in, he is disgraced by his master and broken by his own puppet. His master then begins to resurrect himself with the help of the casket after claiming the fifth and final victim. Now, if you're wondering why is the number 5 significant, it's because there was 5 Ripper murders. So this ties in very nicely to the kind of Ripper story-esque. The Doctor finally manages to put the conspiracy to bed with the help of 2 brave individuals known as Jago and Litefoot. Now, Master Jago is a theatre owner, whereas Litefoot is kind of a surgeon. The two call the whole incident a bit of a queer affair, which is a reference to the fact that it's very strange. The Doctor then says to the pair that he thinks that he will be bumping into them very soon in the very far future, and thanks them for treating his assistant with such care. So, what did I think of the Talons of Weng Chiang? Well, when I first watched it, I was really intrigued by the controversialness, and I can't lie, I was really intrigued by the way this story plays out. After watching it and watching it numerous times, I can point out that I do agree with some of the controversial statements people have made about this episode. However, I will not deduct any points on the basis that I do believe that it is carried off much better than the Breakfast at Tiffany's stick that I previously mentioned. I was talking to someone recently at a Comic-Con over this and mentioning the fact that I believe that the Breakfast at Tiffany's is a little bit more offensive than what they do in the Talons of Weng Chiang. Purely on the basis that even though the person in this character isn't technically Chinese, he does definitely give respect to the Chinese and doesn't try to overplay in some niche market. He doesn't attempt to stereotype the character any more than needs to be. Instead, he prepares himself to be a very calm and considerate character and tries to play it off in this whole story that at the end of the day he is trying to come across as a man of mystery rather than a man who is trying to disingenuously offend the Chinese. I also feel like this story does a very great job at outlining a lot of history about the Chinese, from Chinese New Year to celebrations and also to traditions. I also think it's very respectful in this story the fact that Tom Baker uses Mandarin. This shows not only that the Doctor is willing to learn other languages, but he is very well versed in different places in the world. And for that reason, I give the Talons of Weng Chiang at least a solid 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, and have an incredible night, you beautiful people.